Thank you, Master of Ceremony, Professor, Honorable Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable Peter O'Neill, Honorable Minister for National Planning, and Minister for National Planning and Monitoring, Honorable Richard Maru. I also would like to acknowledge the presence of our friends from Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, United Nations, Japan, European Union, Malaysia, and India to be with us here today. And all the ministers of the state, provincial members, all the departmental heads, and statutory body or statutory organizations. Before I speak, it's good to see my city is being blessed with the beautiful colors by beautiful women, beautiful men from Port Moresby and around the country and also around the world. Thank you for beautifying my city. Your presence here will beautify my city. But your thoughts and ideas that you contribute in this summit will beautify this nation. I'm going to bore you a little bit, but bear with me, because this is my place. You have no choice. You will eventually, by the end of my speech, you will be my friend. It is with much thanks and appreciation that I make this opening address on behalf of Morobians and Morobian people to welcome the Prime Minister, Peter O'Neill, and to thank the Minister for National Planning and Monitoring for co-hosting this National Planning Consultative Summit with the Morobe Provincial Government. It is not a mistake for the National Planning Minister and the National Department of Planning and Minister to bring the first ever National Planning Summit to Lae, Morobe Province. As a co-host and a governor of Morobe Province, I am impressed that this planning consultative forum is taking a different approach with the consultations and contributions being encouraged from the various government departments, churches, NGOs, private sectors, other stakeholders, our development partners in Papua New Guinea and overseas. The planning system should be realistic, measurable, achievable, time-bound, and beneficial for local needs. The bottom-up concept of planning and development was only an idea which was never fully materialized by any successive governments, as most of the developing or development planning and implementation are done in Waigani without wider consultation. The best approach of planning should be bottom-up planning, and this begins from the ward areas to LLGs, districts, and to the province for the national planning to pick up. The bottom-up planning concept should form the basis for the top-down budget cycle for the real implementation of identified development priorities at the districts and local level areas. I am more than happy because the theme for this summit is securing our future through inclusive economic growth. Inclusive defines everybody. It fits well with Leh City and Morobe Province because they are the economic hub of Papua New Guinea. We have a history of socio-economic development in Papua New Guinea, such as gold mine in Wau and Blolo in the early 1970s, production of copra in the early days, cattle farming, coffee, and many more. Morobe can produce more in primary-based economic activities such as fisheries and seafood farming, livestock, vegetables, and fruits, and many more. Morobe Province has the potential to produce more in volume when compared to other provinces in Papua New Guinea. However, this potential is denied because of a lack of better road infrastructure developments that are connected to the 8 districts and 33 LAGs from the provincial capital, Leh City. Highway is not connected to Morobe districts. Highway is connected to provinces. That's what I'm saying. Therefore, as a host governor, I now propose the following major impact infrastructure development projects for the next 30 years to be stipulated in my provincial strategy plan called Morobe Kundu Vision 2048. Firstly, Leh Finsafen Sialum Wasu Kabum Highway. Secondly, Arab Dinangat Tep and Ronji Highway. And the third, 40-mile Sili and Menamia Highway. Fourth, Wau Biaru and Garana. While fifth road to be built from Leh to Salamoa, historical place, historical site, to Morobe, connecting Oro. If these roads are built, it will improve other social developments such as health, education in the remote and disadvantaged wards, LGs, and districts. The Transport Department should also consider providing the sea and air transport services as they play a significant role in boosting local economy in both maritime and inland areas of Morobe Province. The 3 modes of transport are very essential to improve socio-economic sectors to the people of Morobe and Papua New Guinea. On behalf of the provincial government, administration, and people of Morobe, I appreciate Prime Minister for a number of major economic-driven projects initiated in Leh. I'm saying in Leh, not Morobe Province, but Leh is part of Morobe Province. Thank you, Prime Minister. Namely, those projects, economic projects are Wagang Fisheries, Wharf coming up, Yalu Dairy Farm, proposed project, Ramutu Hydro, Wafi Golfu Mining, Leh Tidal Basin, Milford Haven Road Development, Mongi Hydro, 4-lane Leh Nazab, and continuation of the second phase, Nazab Airport, redevelopment, and Nazab Airport Satellite Township. We would encourage the Yalu Dairy Farm project to materialize earnestly. There is a need to establish the Interprovincial Border Development Sharing Program to promote socio-economic activities that will enable the disadvantaged and marginalized people along the provincial border lines to benefit and improve their lives. The economic growth should not only be measured by gross domestic product. But the growth rate measurement must be complemented by United Nations Human Development Index. One of the major drives or initiatives for my government is the internal revenue. There are a number of options, and one of them is for the national government to share with the Morobe provincial government revenue collection in the province. One of these is the sharing the revenues earned from the national impact economic projects and also with the state-owned enterprise. And in this regard, I strongly feel that Morobe government must share revenue with the Papua New Guinea Ports Corporation as it makes monies from Lae Port. In general, Morobe province contributes around 1 billion kina annually to the national economy. My government is prepared to invest in other commercial investment to generate internal revenue for Morobe provincial government. Wafi Golfu in Morobe province is one of the first top 5 mining in the world. This mining, when developed, will contribute immensely to both provincial and national economy. Mr. Prime Minister, it is our request that there will be no flying in and flying out at Wafi Golfu. We want the Wafi Golfu to build a new city at Najab so that we keep the money in the local economy. Mr. Prime Minister, Morobe has been giving a lot to the national economy. Economically, it is time to kiss him back Morobe, kiss him back money, kiss him back good ting, kiss him back Belisi. The regional SME incubation center will be established in Arab Nawab district of Morobe province. This will be seen as another huge and potential economic opportunity for people of Morobe and Momase region. Other regions will also benefit from these economic opportunities. The Morobe provincial government, the administration and its people are in full support and welcome these huge economic milestone achievements. On that note, I sincerely thank the Prime Minister and Minister for Planning and Monitoring for choosing Morobe as the best location to accommodate the regional SME incubation center. Tourism has a potential to improve socio-economic development in the province and country. However, not being promoted well by the government, Morobe province has some of the historical sites that may use to promote tourism. The 3 major renowned sites are Waublolo, retains the history of first gold rush in the history of Papua New Guinea economic development. Secondly, Finsapen. Finsapen's Lutheran Church historical site is another untapped church-oriented tourism opportunity. And finally, Salamoa in the Huon district is first historical site of the Morobe's first administrative headquarters. The tourism can be used as a means to preserve our unique cultures, languages, and flora and fauna. The Morobe provincial government is focusing on developing tourism as a strategy to drive the socio-economic development in the province. I thank the Prime Minister, Honorable Peter O'Neill, for the establishment of Lae City Authority to promote development and provide municipal services in Lae City. To date, Lae City Authority is at its infant stage. I kindly request you for further development assistance towards the planning and implementation of Lae City Authority. While I thank the Papua New Guinea national and Australian government for redevelopment of Angao Memorial General Hospital, there is a need for the National Health Department to provide special equipment and machines that the doctors can use for treating the patients and save money or many lives that are being lost through lack of medical equipment and medicines. For example, there is no need to send a patient for heart treatment in Port Moresby at huge cost, or not at all if Hangau Hospital has a heart treatment machine. I am pleased to state that the national government has given prominence to agriculture sector to improve every individual's economic activities to fully materialize by 111 economic policy for people of Morobe. By 111 policy, I mean one day, 1% must have 1 kina in his pocket. This is to basically help everyone to be economically independent in the long run. Every year, about 75 to 80% of our unsuccessful school leavers drop out from the formal school system, who are regarded as human resource wastage. However, they have the potential to contribute to the socio-economic development when employment opportunities and trainings are provided. They will then contribute meaningfully to the economic development. This is challenge to National Development Bank to enable the young people to participate in the commercial activities to improve their lives. This is also a challenge to National Department of Commerce and Industry to enhance the small medium enterprise or SME policy to create the employment opportunities, and also we want to see more major industrial-based impact projects in Leh City undertaken under domestic or foreign direct investments. Impact projects like petrochemical plants is one example that will sustain economic stability when the world prices of cash crops or natural resources are unfavorable. One of the major initiatives of my government was the introduction of education reform in Morobe province. My education reform policies emphasize on zero dropout or reducing high rate of school leavers while ensuring early childhood care and education to be the basis of formal learning for every 3 to 5-year-old children in villages. Under the education reform, the following major pillars remain the key fundamental values to be included in the school curriculum in my province. 1, English usage. Every child in every school system to use quality English. 2, personal viability school curriculum to accommodate personal viability. As we know, money is important for everybody's life. Every kid must know how to make money, how to save money, and how to spend money wisely. That's what I mean. 3rd, positive character. Every child in school to develop positive character. Number 4, personal health, hygiene. Every child to develop positive health habits. Every kid must know if he has to die today, he must not talk about tomorrow, because his health is not good. So every kid must be taught to look after himself on his personal hygiene, and then he can live a longer life. Then he can contribute to the economy of this country. Number 5, Christian education. Every child in all schools in Morobe to promote and practice Christian principles. Ladies and gentlemen, education reform initiatives of Morobe Provincial government is enhancing and complementing national government education reform agenda to improve the quality and standard of education in Morobe province. In order to achieve this, there is to be a reformed teachers college established in Morobe province, apart from Balop Teachers College, preferably Hellsback Teachers College in Finsapen District, Morobe province. And I request the National Planning Department to consider the education reform initiatives of my government, including the new Teachers College initiative, as a strategy to improve the quality of education for our children. Under the new arrangement on decentralization of tuition fee free to the province, Enga and probably New Ireland were the two first provinces to be given autonomy to control and monitor the TFF funding provincially. Mr. Prime Minister and Minister for Education, Morobe being the biggest province in terms of number of schools and enrollment, I would request the Prime Minister and the Minister to consider Morobe to be the next recipient of such arrangement after the two provinces. I would like to ensure the Prime Minister and Minister for Planning and Monitoring, Honorable Richard Maru, that Morobe Provincial Government will align its socio-economic development plans with medium-term development plan number 3, so that our plans will complement each other to achieve desired results towards improving quality of lives of our people at the national, provincial, district, and local level government levels. Morobe Province will continue to play a significant role in the development of our country because we have the biggest private sector as well as key government sectors and institutions based in Leh. Therefore, it is my utmost heart and vision to see that outcome strategies and solutions of this summit will pave the way for positive economic development through private sector stakeholders and state institutions in Leh, Morobe Province. To conclude, I thank the Prime Minister for making his time available in attending this first ever National Planning Consultative Summit in Leh, being hosted by the National Planning Minister and the Morobe Provincial Government. I have no doubt that new medium-term development strategy framework will bring significant socio-economic development programs and convey positive changes to Papua New Guinea. I welcome all the delegates to the first National Planning Consultative Summit in Leh. And finally, but not the least, leaders have the desire for future generation, while politicians plan for next generation. I'm a politician. All that I said, and with my association with you to plan what we want to plan today is not for making me or Peter O'Neill or whoever to win the next election. This is all for future generation of this country. With that, thank you very much for listening.